Get ready to hoot your horn. Chris Noosh back once again for a Noosh little Noosh. I guess this will be a Noosh vlog. I'm only working on one thing this week. It's actually Thursday, and I am working on a small little framed carving. Here's the piece of wood. Here's the frame that I'm going to be putting it in. And so what I want to do is I've been having these images in my brain as I fall asleep, and this is going to sound really weird, but it's kind of how my process is. I guess I get images in my brain sometimes of animals playing brass instruments. The main animal that I have, I don't actually, it's not a specific animal, but it's a specific instrument. It's a bottom-heavy animal playing a trombone. I just thought that would be kind of funny to draw, maybe something with short arms. I know if people have seen like the T-Rex playing the trombone, it's kind of funny. But I want to do something like upbeat and playful, not silly and weird. I guess it's also silly and weird. I just have a different vision. It's not going to be a sad animal playing it. It's going to be an animal that can actually play it. The joke isn't in the animal playing the instrument. It's just going to be a fun image. That's what I'm looking to make. But for this format that I'm using, the frame that I have already cut out last week, the trombone I don't think wasn't going to work because it's too small of a space. The trombone idea is too big of an idea for that little space. So what I've come up with is this little owl playing the trumpet. Same concept, still fun, but it's just a little bit different. So that is what I'm going to be working on this week. I have to get that drawing onto the board, and then I can start carving it. So first I'm going to transfer the drawing using some transfer paper, and then I'm going to outline that little transfer paper with some Sharpie. All right, so let's get to work. And now that I have it all drawn out into the board, it's not perfect, but I can draw it again when I carve it. I like to draw when I carve. So here we go. I'm going to spray paint this black and then carve it out. And every time I open up the door, Puppy's here to investigate. I've done this once or twice before where the speed at which you're watching me carve is the actual speed that I carve. This is the real-time speed once again. The only difference is here is you're only seeing a handful of the marks that I'm making, like, 20, 30 of them or so, rather than the hundreds to more likely thousands of carving marks that I make in a little piece just like this. You know what? I should probably, I don't know how impossible that would be for me to carve every stroke that I make in a piece. One time I did weigh the piece to see how much wood I lost in a piece, but I couldn't remember how much. It was negligible. It was like, 1 ounce. But maybe a fun experiment would be how many little carve marks I actually take to finish a piece. But this one's almost done. Enough thinking. So there it is, all finished. This little owl playing the trumpet. I'm done with the carving now, and that was probably the least fun carving I've done in a long time. The wood that I cut this from was very fibery, so when I would carve it, it would peel up in the wrong ways. But it is finished. I did a color study of this piece too, so I want to, those are the colors I want to aim for. So I'm going to go paint this in and then ink it up. And yeah, I think, what do you think? Good colors? I think so. So let's go paint it up. In case you couldn't tell by the title of this video, this piece is called Hoot Your Own Horn. It's a little pun that I thought would be funny. I thought of that after I did the drawing, so don't give me a whole lot of credit there. but this one was pretty easy to paint. I had all the colors already pre-picked out. I was just using local colors for this and blending from like light to dark and highlights and stuff. So this one was a pretty simple one to paint. I didn't have a whole lot to figure out as I was working, and it was, you know, just one or two colors here and there. But when I did the trumpet, I used, once again, metallic paint. It's actually a mixture of 3 different types of metallic paint to get the correct feel of the gold for a trumpet, and it's coming up here soon so you can see what I'm talking about. And then I put a little bit of a pearl button on the top of the trumpet, because I remember trumpets kind of having like pearl accents sometimes.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the block is prepared and ready for inking. Please fasten your seatbelts and remain seated.
And with one final layer of ink over the top of it, this owl trumpet piece is finished. I think it came out pretty good. So I'm going to let you into the, the overthinking part of my brain, where I talk about what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing, I guess. This frame is made with the same wood that I've been using. It's just 1x2 oak wood. And I cut it up and cut it to size and make a frame out of it. And so the difference I did with this one is, instead of laying it flat and making a frame, I put it up on its side to make a frame. So it's 2 inches deep and 1 inch thick on the front, where the frames I've been doing in the past are more like this, where they are, it's a lot of frame going around the piece. I thought that this would look more, I don't know, just a little bit nicer, give more emphasis to the image itself and not necessarily the frame, because this is, in my opinion, this is a lot of frame. But there's one issue I didn't anticipate when making this, is that when I go to put the points in the back, the points are these little black things that hold the piece in place. I can't get the point driver in this short distance because it's too deep and the board is too far in. And so when I shoot a point driver in, it's not able to get all the way in and hold that into place. So the smallest that I can make these frames is about this size. And I was hoping to be able to make smaller pieces with this style frame. When I say smaller, I mean like 3 inches by 3 inches kind of. So the frame wouldn't overpower the image, kind of like what happens here. But maybe I'm overthinking all this. Maybe these frames are just fine, but I want to try to find a way. And I know an easy way to fix all this would to be get a, cut the piece a little bit, make it a little bit not so deep. But I would need a table saw to do that, and I don't have a table saw. So I don't know, maybe I get a table saw. I don't know. But for now, this is the smallest that I can make a frame about this size. It at least has to have one side that is 7 inches, because I got lucky, and that is the absolute smallest that I can put what's it called? The point driver into. I'll show you what it looks like. This is the point driver, and when I pull the trigger, it fires a point. And the points look like this. And that is what is sticking into the edges of the frame there to hold the wood into place. Now the problem is I can't put that point driver in far enough to actually hold the wood in because of the depth of the frame, where with the more shallow frames, it's not a problem. I can put it in at any angle and it's fine. So I would like to make a frame that is the 1 inch thick, but not the 2 inches deep. I need it to be like 1 inch thick and 1.5 inches deep. So I don't know. Let me know what you think. If you think that these frames are too overpowering, or if you like this frame better, just let me know what you think. But that is what I was trying to accomplish this week. The ability to make smaller pieces with a thinner frame. And I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. It's just the little minutia bits of finishing a piece that make things complicated. But anyways, I lucked out. The piece is finished. It worked for this size frame, which is great. So I'm happy about that. Let me know what you think on this piece. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed my little rant at the end. And there's probably like one person who watched at this point. So if you watched to this point, put in the comments that you made it this far, because I bet there aren't many of you. And I appreciate you listening to the rambling brains of me. So thank you guys. I'll see you all next week. Thanks. Bye.